Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the world of Zodiac Racing, round 5 of the Bathurst. And this is going to be the ZRC GT3 Championship. Good to have everyone here. Big welcome to you guys. Glad to have you all around for this exciting, explosive championship. Gerrit Jacob saying first, Tiana Spuerto saying I'm second. Well, I beat both you guys because I didn't even make the grid. But a big welcome to you guys and glad to have you here. Joining me in the commentary box is the one, the only, the Sasquatch himself. And because we're heading into May the 4th, we have got the Wookiee, Cameron de Bastos. Cameron, welcome to Bathurst, round 5 of the ZRC Championship. Gonna be an exciting time because it's Bathurst. It is a race of nutrition on this circuit because you have got turn 1 is literally called Hell's Corner into Quarry Bend, which you go and make your way up through the cutting into Solomon Park, through Montgomery Park, into Skyline, you know it all too well, the Dipper, into the Forest Elbow, well I like to call it the Bentley Corner, and before we move down towards the Hangar Straight. I mean, this track has it all the thrills, the spills, and will push the drivers to their limits of who will be able to take their way to the top. That's what I personally think, but you've done more laps around the track than myself.
Yeah, absolutely, Steve. I mean, you gave a little bit of a dig there towards Skyline and me knowing it all too well. Technically, it's not Skyline, it's McPhillamay Park where I kept on losing it there. And just a little dig to everybody out there. Stephen also lost it in the Forest Elbow or Bentley Corner multiple times. But no, Bathurst, a brilliant track. Definitely one full of its own challenges, it's fun in its own unique form, and makes it quite a nice challenge for drivers for tonight here. It's a very fun track, I believe.
You believe? I would personally say that it is a brilliant, brilliant circuit that's going to test the drivers in pushing it. And tonight for round 5, the championship is definitely on the cards for a lot of these drivers. Who's going to be able to claw their way up? But enough being said, let's move on to the actual race at hand. And this is the start of qualifying, where we have got our Pro-Ams currently out on circuit looking to put their moment in the sun. I mean, this is where you got to get the brakes warmed up. You got to get yourself all sorted out. But with the championship in our AM class being quite close, let's go run through the order. Gerrie van Zyl currently out in the top of the championship points, 130 points, followed by Tian Theron, Lawrence Bronhurst, Mondre Claessens in 4th place, Jackie Alberts in 5th, David Robertson in 6th, Jaco Krobler, who's tied up in 6th on 96 points, so we got a tie in 6th place, Francois Buerter in 7th, 8th, Gerrit Jacobs, 9th, Lucan Haynes, along with Ruben Ritter, Matthew Carter, Jacques Kriel, Ian Rootman, Francois Haynes, Hendrik Porchita, Gabriel Melmin, Jan Verveers, Barry Jan Loeb, and then we've got the likes of Liam Swanbourne, Gunther Kruger, Marius Ibbers, Henk Petersen, Heinrich Loeb, Anthony Wilson, Michael Berg, and Rudy van Eerden is our running pack. Sure, quite a few of our Pro-Am drivers, but taking a look to the circuit, currently, Lawrence Bronhurst and David Robertson trying to make their way around the circuit. And they've got Heinrich Loeb, Gerrie van Zyl, and Henk Petersen also improving their time. A split in qualifying, I've got to ask you, does this help the situation, allowing the Pro-Ams to do their own, then return back to the pits and allow the pros to head out? Your thoughts on the matter?
Well, of course, Stephen. I think it takes away in the terms of the stress of, oh, you're on a push lap, you have the heat in the tires, your brakes are functioning as they are, you get the correct stopping power, and then you have to, for some reason, go and immediately jump out of the way because a faster car is suddenly popping up behind you. This takes that pressure off of our Pro-Am drivers. They can just go and focus on their lap and not worry about the Pro class coming and interfering in their laps, meaning they can get clean running, set their lap times, and then sit back and calm down for that last couple of minutes, 10 minutes, I believe, before they have to hit the track again. Because in that 10 minutes where they can sit down and relax, that's when our pros go out. Meaning the pros are going to be a lot more acclimated to the track, seeing as they just ran their laps, and pro-ams might be a bit cold, but it gives everybody a fair chance in terms of setting their lap time. As you see, Lewis Barton was the first, well, was first with a 2:03, but Van Zyl immediately topping with a 2:02 there. I think we might maybe see about a 2 minute, maybe. I don't think 1:59 tonight, Stephen, from our pros, but maybe about 2 minutes around this magnificent circuit tonight.
I think it's going to be a close call if they can get it to it, but you guys will be able to keep track with all of it, as well as we've got live timing down in the description, so feel free to go and take a look at it. But Kerry Van Zyl out in first place, a Bentley taking the charge. Now, we've seen Kerry Van Zyl has done a wonderful job, but it does look like David Robertson trying to come back at him. Mordred Gloss up into third place. He's trying to improve his lap times and get that little bit more. Thoughts on this, as we see a Bentley for the very few times standing at the top of the charts?
I mean, it's probably a well-known sight. I mean, there's a reason why the Bentley is more commonly referred to as the Boatley, and it's just cruising around Bathurst. I mean, I believe it was Jordan Pepper who piloted one of the Bentley M Motorsport cars, I believe it's an M Motorsport cars, when they were still part of the GT3, and won the 12 Hours of Bathurst. So I think it holds a bit of a special place in the South African heart. Maybe also just the same as the BMW and the Audi. All cars, all three of those brands were piloted by South African drivers. So, but I think the Bentley is most commonly associated with this legendary track in terms of being able to win, being piloted by our very own Jordan Pepper. And with the Bobs.
I'm going to disagree on that one, because if we go back a couple of years, for any big gaming fans out there, is who will remember the Nissan Skyline GTR, the final battle towards the line where it went elbow to elbow against the Audi. The Nissan GTR was driven by the PlayStation development team that wasn't actually to win the race. They were told, you're not going to win, don't bother about it, you're just going to cycle, it's a marketing thing, take this from experience. And they had the PlayStation Academy drivers in the car with one pro that was able to go and take the car to victory on the last lap. That's what I remember of the side-by-side, and I will say this, that car is in South Africa. So, yes, I'm quite proud to say I sat in that very car.
But was it then piloted by South Africa when it won? I'm just talking about in terms of just piloting a brand by South African to a win around this track. And that's why I'm talking about the Bentley and Jordan Pepper. But, I mean, you have spoken about the Nissan quite, I believe, also 2 weeks ago, unfortunately missing last week due to due to Stephen having a commitment, and what do you say, he is doing quite well on that side. But no, it's you've spoken about the Nissan, and I think that's the one that makes drivers, well, one of the two Nissans that we have here, they and the Villas just pop right up and say, ooh, can I do this tonight? I mean, we do now. We're busy with the pros, but as they're doing their final lap before having to head back, I just want to quickly shift focus towards our pro driver in terms of Daniel de Villiers. Do you think we will be seeing him flying around this track again? I mean, he's been performing well this past couple of rounds that we've had, Stephen. So I believe we might be having a battle for the win there with that Nissan there tonight.
Well, taking a look at the lap times, I mean, Kerry Van Zyl put a 2:01 and 2:01.7 as his quickest lap time. Luke Haynes in second place, putting a 2:02.4. David Robertson at 2:03 on his last lap, at 2:02.5 as his fastest. Mordred Clausen at 2:02.55. But there is chaps putting in some very, very consistent laps at the moment, and David Robertson immediately breaks it into a 2:01.6, so he puts himself right into first place. I think it's going to be a tall ask. I mean, we're going to see a lot of these drivers fight their way through to the top. It's going to be a difficult one. I do think our pros are going to have a challenging time, as it looks like the pro-ams have been putting in a fair amount of work to ensure that their championship is going to end off well. Remember, this is an 8-round championship, so the drivers are going to do everything they can to move forward, with Bathurst being one of the exciting circuits for a lot of drivers. everyone hoping to get not only their teams but their favorite drivers across the line. Take a look over to our virtual grandstand. See this bird is saying, let's go hybrid, let's go club. What? I do apologize.
Klap ons as 'n rooi kop stiefkind. Yeah, that basically means I don't even know how to translate it.
Okay, in other words,
it's not
go
mean.
running. Okay.
It's not. Yeah, basically just like
Go racing.
Go push it to the limit. Let's just make that. It's not. Yeah, basically gooi millies. It basically means gooi millies. Just like give it. Oh, Lotus Bottle's getting all mixed up there in Bentley corner. And in terms of being a Bentley, it is now Mercedes front end corner.
Yeah. Don't worry. Join the club. We've all spread some spare parts on a piece of the circuit. You know, there's going to be a very old saying. Well, I say it's old. It's been around by one of our famous drivers, Mordred Claessen's losing it up at the top. And unfortunately learning the hard way that the wall does not shift at the top of the hill. But there was a old saying that went out where it was RPM. And do you know what RPM stands for?
Respect, patience, and moment. That one moment can be the difference between winning and losing. I have been in this game how many times, Stephen? I do know what the race director says in this specific
and
track.
do you know what the first time RPM was actually used here at Bathurst?
I believe that was in it's not 2007.
No, it was actually the first time that saying was used was during the Bathurst 1000, and it was heading back into the early 70s.
Sheesh.
And it was used by a driver that eventually, and I will be rather blunt with it, the driver within the first 6 laps went and smashed the car, then proceeded to go and have a boxing match with the steward.
Oh boy, and didn't he later become one of the head stewards?
No. I believe he went on to be the chairman of the motorsport club for Australia.
Ah, yes.
So
yes, yes.
just a bit of history there. But it's definitely one to keep an eye out for. So, pros out on the circuit, what are we expecting? 201s to come in? Or are we going to start seeing those 2 minutes as the flybys? We do have a couple of drivers that haven't gone out. Conrad Martin and the likes of Tian Theron have not gone out onto the circuit. Fafires and Jakob Krobler also are parked in the pits as it stands. Jakob Krobler just presenting the car, but is not heading out onto the circuit. SES is going and doing everything can. Hannes Kraling trying to bring out the inner Godzilla as all the tires, all the drivers start to back up. Now, I don't know about you, I'm not a huge fan of the slow down, back up, and then go racing. Because I either want to be at the front or I want to get past everyone as quick as I can to ensure that I'm keeping as much heat into those tires. I'm generating the heat on the way through. But when you've got a 41 car grid like what we have here tonight, the last thing you want to do is start backing the field up and costing yourself a bit of time. Rather be ahead, rather get in that clear air and start trying to find where the limits are of the track. That's my personal take onto it, but I'm an AM driver, not a pro. Cameron, you're a pro driver. Your thoughts onto it?
Stephen, as you said there, it's quite a bit of a nuisance, one can say, or personally from my side. I mean, I have it before previously where you would go out, you'd pick your perfect moment, make sure you have enough gap in front of you when you exit the pits, and then the guys who were for example 6-7 seconds ahead of you in terms of gap time suddenly slows down. Now this is a car alarming. Now just imagine you're going through Cheetah, setting yourself up to start your flying lap, and these cars suddenly slow down. Then you have to hit the anchors, and the cars behind you just also back up. It has impeded other drivers before, but I believe with over such a long track such as Bathurst, it should rather not be implication, but it does provide some difficulties. It's a bit more of a give and take. I would prefer personally that if, for example, if the drivers would go and just rather check what in terms of what they want to do. When their team releases them onto the track. Get your race engineers, get them to get your proper spacing. I mean, yes, you have 10 minutes to set a lap. It's about 2 minutes around, as we see about 4 Zodiac racing cars there, 5 with another Porsche joining, and then finally broken up there by Delta Negative.
Two coming out of the pits, and the rest just making their way through, being a bit chromed out. But interesting to take a look by looking at the championship points. First place, Daniel Rowe on 170 points. Chris Stolz currently in second place in the championship. Johan Kleinans is lying third. Daniel de Villiers in fourth place. Johan Kobler in fifth. Sixth place, Hannes Freiling, followed by Johan van der Merwe, Michael Schultz-Koldovit, and Savo Savov in 10th position. That is our pros, with Virtio Berta in 11th, SESS in 12th, Conrad Martin in 13th, tied with Michael Donaldson, Henry Mayer in 14th, 15th, Sean Benham, Anton Lammers, Wilfred Robertson, Werner Skuman, Darren Miller, 19th is Loic Granville, Edwin Govender, Jean Leroux, Ruan Kleinans, Hardest Boys in 23rd, 24th, Fleming Bauer, along with John Fears in 25th. But Jean Verveers currently lying second, now third, because he got beaten up by SESS coming across the line.
Yeah, well, as we see the 2 minutes there just being popped in there by Daniel Rowe, as we see another chromed out Merc pulling out in front of him there. But Daniel Rowe, a name that most of us will know, and just extracts the most out of that Porsche there. But it's good to see SES and also they're just fighting there at the top. This time in a Mercedes. I've never been able to get this Mercedes to work around this track. I've looked at multiple videos. I've watched how the Mercedes factory esports driver James Baldwin goes around this track with this car, and it is just not possible. I mean, he did create quite a significant setup where he just tries to smash the rear wheel. Of course, if you have watched that from that Mercedes, you'll know, as we see Crystals, they're topping with a 2 minute flat with 2 minute 2. I don't know how to read that. It's just 2 minutes point 2 milliseconds. There we go. It goes there and just sticks it there in front of Daniel Rowe with that Ferrari. But these drivers are really extracting the most of these cars, specifically the top 3 here. It's you see iconic hybrid racing drivers, both of them not a front row lockout, but second and third, and then it's a hybrid racing lockout in the second row there. But it's great to see teams such as Delta Negative bringing the fight to the hybrid guys. I'm enjoying this. I'm gonna say it again, it's gonna be a fun night tonight. Hopefully all the drivers make it out and around on lap 1, and there is no massive incidents.
Yeah, we got Daniel de Villiers currently running in 7th position, trying to make his way up for the PWSR team, with Darren Miller lying in 8th place. And just take a look over to the grandstand. Fleming Bauer saying, unfortunately, he's not in the race. He's going to be watching from the sidelines. So good to see a bit of support out there for the drivers. Brandon Francis saying, go Racing Snails. Eric Jacobs saying, go ZLC. Good luck, boss. So good to see, even drivers from our pro-ams all jumping in to be part of the show. Hardest Boys make his way around in the BMW. Gotta say, good to see him out there having a bit of fun. Not a giant fan of the BMW anymore, but it's always fun to see someone driving it. Wilfred Robertson for cheese and wine. Definitely not having a bit of cheese and wine right now. He's going and drinking all the Monster he can to get himself energized for tonight. The Logistical Nightmare Racing driver has got a lot to prove from his side of the world. Virtio Berta also making up some time, currently lying in 16th position. He's been told by the witnesses to keep up the hard work and to ensure that he keeps it all together. No falling off the circuit, no dropping down. Got to keep it on the black stuff and walk home with the championship.
Ooh, look at that time there from Chris Stolz, a 2 minute .1. Oh, he's pushing for that 1:59, Stephen, but I do not think that's going to be able to get it there tonight unless he sticks close to his teammate and get a nice little slipstream onto on the Conrad straight there going into the chase. Will we see a 1:59 tonight? I have seen other drivers during practice being able to get it there, but I don't think tonight we're going to see it. He has to stick really close, especially through this very tricky and technical, wanting to run as close as possible to that wall there, and then try not to lift throughout this entire section. I know so many people try and risk it there. I mean, I've given you quite a few heart attacks with that. Was even just sticking it full throttle.
Kleinans goes into the wall, got caught up behind one of the cars, and that was Kleinans into the wall. And unfortunately,
now Crystals has to stick close to this Zodiac Racing. Oh, getting a very beat at the end. Nope, that's gonna cost them.
Yeah, that's bottled up the time, so Crystals will just miss out on that sub 2 minute round. Johan Krobler make his way around. He's currently in third place, but one I do want to talk about is where on earth is Daniel Rowe? He's not here.
Daniel Rowe is
Daniel is fourth. Yeah, Daniel Rowe dropping
and Daniel
down.
de Villiers is in 10th, but Daniel Rowe not being able to get a lap together there, and unfortunately, see number 10 Zodiac car there, just off the chase there, but you not being able to look it up. The Ferrari's too strong. The pasta is just too strong tonight. Just el dente, perfecto, just nailing it there and getting the front row lockout there for Delta Negative, followed with a second row lockout for Hybrid Racing. As we see,
words, hashtag blessed.
Hashtag skills. As we see the ZRC Falcons. Oh, and goodbye.
Yeah, once you fall off at the top of the hill, it's a long way down. Otis Brewers going and parking it. So that is our drivers getting themselves ready. They'll be heading down to the pits. Couple of cars still out on track on the Hybrid Racing machines, still trying to put in the lap time, along with SESJS, Tian Taron in the pits as well, still needing to get a lap time for him. So drivers unfortunately going and throwing in the towel for qualifying at the moment. Now that it's done and dusted. So much is going to happen here tonight. We're either going to have drivers really stick it and do well, or we're going to have drivers just not able to get it right. I mean, this is a circuit that lends itself to momentum. You've got to be patient. You've got to keep on to the back of everyone. I don't know, what the drivers are going to be able to do.
Well, as you see there, Stephen, it's all about momentum with this track. But not just that, you have to be in a sort of a groove, this flow. You have to be one with the car. See it as an extension. I know I'm going to sound completely weird here, but see it as an extension of yourself. It's not just you and the car, it's two separate entities. You have to be one. One little mistake can cost you dearly on this track. And not just you, but people following close behind you, meaning that it can be a massive pile up, having to get towed back to the pits and fix it up there. For a very clean and successful race, all the drivers have to be very respectful to one another, and it's going to provide for entertainment tonight.
So let's take a look. Crystal's out in first place. Second, Johan Kleinans, followed by Johan Krobler, Daniel Rowe, Johan Verveers, SES Ace in 6th, 7th is Johan van der Merwe, Viertier Buerta in 8th, 9th position is Daniel de Villiers, hardest boys, down in 10th, along with Hannes Kreiling, going in, finishing up in 11th for qualifying. Loic Randabel in 12th. Right behind him is Darren Miller, hoping to get a little bit more pace. Savasavov going and finishing in 14th. First of our Pro-Ams is David Robertson, followed by Gerry van Zyl, battling it out for the championship. They have got Wilfred Robertson, Anton Lammers, Mordred Claessen's third in class, down in 19th. Edrin Govender, Michael Donaldson a little bit further down. Lucan Haynes, Lawrence Badenhurst, along with Heinrich Loeb, Conrad Martin, Francois Hines, Matthew Carter, Michael Schultz, and Henry Porhita. They got themselves lined up and ready. Henk Pedersen, Marius Ibbers, Francois Buerta, Jacques Krill, Michael Berg, Ian Swanburn, Ian Rootman, Sean Dunn, Tian Theron, Sean Verveers, and Jaco Krobler rounding out the field as they get ready to go green. And it looks like a couple of cars going, unfortunately not making the timer mark, but it's a lockout for Delta Negative at the front and Hybrid Racing right behind. 1-2. Let's see what they can do. 3-4. It's all to score as we get to go racing right here for round 5 of the ZRC GT3 Championship. And we're getting ready to go racing. Lights on.
Green light,
Lights off, and away we go. Drivers giving it everything they got, and it does look like both hybrid racing cars, Daniel Rowe and Johan Krubler, going and giving each other a little bit of a shove, running out of room. And unfortunately, they had a little bit of an argy-bargy moment, as it looks like Kleinund's dropping down the order quite significantly after that start. But it's Crystals right out the front, breaking away, not hanging around, as he's got Johan Krubler right behind him. Fafier's pushing as hard as he can. He came up through the ranks. Daniel Rowe down into 4th place. Johan van der Merwe trying to make his way up. So there has been an entire switch out of positions for a lot of drivers who didn't get caught out on the start.
And absolutely, Stephen. I mean, that start from both the hybrid racing Porsches, they were right side by side, and the Ferrari from Crystals basically was a awful thing. He placed the car right between the center line of those two cars and saying, listen, you are not getting past. Unfortunately, it was at the expense of his own teammate there, dropping back, not being able to close the door fast enough there. But the racing so far has been looking quite clean, and Daniel de Villiers shooting up from 9th to 7th. Not a big jump, but still a 2-place jump there. And Miller right on the rear of the ominous gaming Ferrari of Logan.
Oh, never mind, in the wall, and now...
Hold up. Woohoo! And there's another contact.
This is the problem when you get stuck and yellow flags. You're going to have to wait for the entirety of the field through the forest elbow, and he's just on the apex point as well. So drivers having to take evasive maneuvers there. Unfortunately, Mildred Claessens gave him a light tap, just a little bit of how's your uncle. But now it looks like a bit of a race on for Kleinund and Johan van der Merwe, who's immediately onto the back of him, trying to force the situation at hand. And it's got Daniel de Villiers also gaining a bit of ground, but it's a hybrid 2, 3, 4 that are running in front of Kleinund, who did start in 2nd place. I mean, let's go take a look at some of the incidents, though, what happened. This is a bit of a contact that happened at the start for the number 22 car. And this was the argy-bargy moment that changed it out for the hybrid racer. You could see the entire field getting backed up a bit. And some very, very clever moves coming in. I wonder if that was a little bit brought on, where it looked like Kleinund just didn't get the drive he wanted off the start, and it actually bottled up the fat and it compounded on his own problem on the way through. So, bit of a stage pass there, I would think, but all within the rules. Unless a black flag comes out, they had to maintain within the bubble, and well, he did. Just at 69 kilometers now, not at 70.
Unfortunately, I think just failed to get the drive there. As you said, Steven, perhaps not. I mean, a multitude of these drivers are using what we refer to as the brake boosting, where they drag that brake and try and well, close to full throttle the engine to get a good launch there, but of course you can't go above 70, and perhaps just getting caught out there, not having enough boost or something just built up to get the car forward there, and they being forced wide by the two hybrid racing, as we see.
This is Maurice Ebers who got it out of shape. Yellow flags come out waving, and there's the bite, there's the wall, there's the grass.
Ooh,
kept it out of the wall.
No, never mind. There's a bit of a two-touch side, both on the inside and outside.
Just to put the fenders in the right spot.
Yeah, just to ding out some dates that there. I mean, me and you have been both have been there. You like to comment refer to me as bidding it in Skyline, but you've also done it with the BMW.
Oh no, I've been it pretty much anywhere on this circuit you can think about it. I've done the Bathurst jump numerous times. I was one of the very few drivers that could do the Bathurst jump before they removed the Bathurst jump. At iRacing, that's where you go off the Conrod straight, you jump over the tyres and you try and make it stick. I've made it land twice where I crossed the line. I've binned it through here more than once. I lost the championship. Up at the top here, I went straight, smacked the wall. It's no skin off.
Everywhere.
It's no skin off my nose to say where I've managed to get it wrong. GT3 though, having a big look with Daniel de Villiers getting all out of shape. That Nissan went left, it went right, it ducked, it turned, it tried figuring out where it could go, and it does it again. He's able to save it.
I think he's listening to Tokyo Drift too much, Steven. Daniel, put the radio on pause and focus, my man. This is not the Drift Championship for Zodiac Racing. Oh,
Fafier's
boy.
down the order as well. So Fafier's got a tank slapper and he's further down. So this train with Daniel Rowe, Johan Kleinans, Johan van der Merwe, Fafier's now has a de Villiers, Veertier, Essie and Hannes Grayling problem. Hottest Boys and Loic Randebal starting to close up on the train as well. So we're about to see a proper fight with all the drivers now starting to get into a bit of a slipstream tow, left, right and center, with Daniel Rowe holding the helm at the moment. I see yellow flags did kick up for de Villiers, who got it a little bit sideways, maybe just taking a little bit too wide. But our driver's still having to give it everything it got. Hannes Krayling's not going to hang around. Dives on the inside. And just couldn't get the pass on Veertier Buerta. Maybe just telling his teammate, hey buddy, got to get going here. We're losing a bit of time. So we need to really step on the gas. I do see yellow flags coming out though for car number 28 that landed up. That is one of our racing snails that got caught up. That's Francis Hines trying to bring himself back into the fray of things. And then a little bit of rubbing racing with the 73. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Spinning again.
Unfortunately, now parked himself. A little bit of bargy moments. And then for the 45 car, having a narrow miss where a McLaren got it all out of shape. Bringing it back and having to just take a bit of evasive action. Hard onto the brakes. Yep.
Oh, never mind.
There.
It's sparked BMW. Oh. And there's another contact there at the back with the Aston Martin. Oh boy, that BMW was causing some issues there. Well, I mean, it's quite a difficult one. Normally you would run wide onto that apex, but oh boy. And as we see, you can look back on this fight here again with Daniel Rowe just being at the head of this train there. He's doing a good job for his teammates. Even though there's quite a significant gap between them in the championship, I'm pretty sure he wants to start getting the car up front to battle Johan Hilbert and Chris Stolz. But at this point that I'm looking at, Chris Stolz is pulling away quite with a 5-second gap already over Johan Hilbert. So this is currently our closest fight, I believe, Stephen, correct?
It's one of our closest fights out there. Daniel de Villiers and Veertier Buerta having a go at each other. Hannes Grayling has got SESAs, but I've also seen a bit of argy-bargy moments between Van Zyl trying to get going and David Robertson landed up in a bit of a mix with one another. So Van Zyl having a yellow flag moment, so maybe just touching the dirt while going side by side. We do see that Michael Schultz unfortunately saying he's out due to mechanical problems. Gerry Van Zyl though keeping all together there. Oh, the Bentley just snap oversteer, brings it back. Mordred Claessen's having to give a bit of avoidance on the way through. So our first place at Pro-Ams also had a bit of an exciting moment. But a couple of drivers having to push themselves out a little bit more. But unfortunate to hear about Michael Schultz going and having to retire early due to his pedals not coming in. And not working, and they out of commission, so he had to pull out of the race. So that is a bit of a horrid one, actually. You get yourself all prepped, you get yourself ready to go, and unfortunately mechanical failure just takes you out of the race. Daniel Rowe, though, championship leader, now has got Kleinans all over the back of him and trying to force him into a mistake, while Krobler and Chris Stolz are starting to pull away and venture into their own little race. Johan van der Merwe trying to close down the gap, and Verveers doing everything he can. But I mean, the train behind Daniel de Villiers, Viertia Buerta still hanging on, Hannes Kraling, Essie Estes, and now Loic Randebel's like, hey, can I join the conga line? Others boys trying to also hold on to the coattails as they make their way through.
I mean, when you said it there, it's like, it's Daniel de Villiers, who, as Chris, well, no wait, Jan Kleinans going a bit wide there at the chase, getting onto the gravel there and having to take evasive action, meaning that John Verveers is still stuck behind him.
But he's coming at him at race spots.
Johan van der Merwe got past him there, meaning he has to do all that work again. But Daniel de Villiers is still leading this little train here with not one, not two, but 3 Zodiac cars chasing him down. And one of those 3 is in the same machinery as him, as we see the Hannes Greiling there. I think it's Hannes. No,
that's
it's Boyce. Boys are just going a bit wide there on Hal's corner, but boy, VT Buerta getting a great run here on the videos, right underneath that big wing of Godzilla. I mean, just getting a bit of a mix-up. This is phenomenal racing, Stephen.
Oh, Hannes Grayling also trying to shove the big nose in and say, listen, we've got to get past you or get past him. Pick one, because we got Loic on the back of us. SESA's trying to just keep it all together and go on the defense, backing off from the little pack and trying to fight it out with Loic Randebel, maybe to give himself a little bit of breathing room or just to allow the drivers to get a bit more breathing room. I mean, this is where you're in a bit of a difficult situation. You got your teammates around you. Do you carry on with your own race? Oh, Essie loses it, and Loic also does. Essie's got damage, and Viertia going off. Viertia.
Daniel de Villiers in this.
Well, Daniel de Villiers might have gotten away, but Viertia Buerta. Oh no! Oh, Daniel's getting it out of shape. He spins out. Viertia goes off. Viertia spins out. Essie goes off. Loic Randebel. Hannes Kraling says, thank you very much. I think the only one that survived that was Hannes Kraling. Yep, it is.
But now, Stephen, here's the next question. Our Pro-Am leaders are right behind him in terms of Mondre Klaassen, Gerry van Zyl, and David Robotham. Were any of them here? I mean, they are still going on there, and that's the difficulty of following so close behind one another over the top of this mountain. One mistake from one person. I mean, we've seen this entire, in the past, there's a couple of 15 minutes, that, almost said Mercedes, that Nissan of Daniel de Villiers was significantly loose. A very, very slightly rear going over the top of, over there, I can't even remember the name, not even Skyline, the start of Skyline.
Traction control up, traction control up,
and then at one point you just all the way up. And this time you can't even go and play around with the diff.
when it goes and says off, you just go one click back, because then you've gone too far. Side by side, Michael Donaldson going around the outside, Hardest Boys going and chasing him to the fringes of the circuit, and now Mondre Klaassen onto the back of Daniel de Villiers. But you were bringing up a very interesting point there. Our Pro-Ams now into the fray of things. How are they going to look at the situation? Are they going to go on the attack? Are they going to go for an early push? Or are they going to sit back and start settling down as de Villiers getting very loose at the top of the hill? He's having a lot of fun sliding the car around, but not quite the way he would like the race to go, as we see our first pit stop, and that is Heinz pulling into the pits. So he's got himself sorted out.
Ooh, Chris Stall's also in the pits. I wonder if there's a bit of a change up in terms of strategy. Pitting on the hour, getting everything changed, and they go from there. I mean, he has a massive lead. No, wait, he had an accident, Stephen.
Okay.
He crashed at Forest Elbow.
Okay, so bit of a problem for our driver. Not exactly what you want to see. Let's go to, this is car number 40, landing up. Also a bit of a yellow flag moment, coming off hanger straight. And yep, looking all fine there. But yeah, seems like some slight disconnects may be coming into play, but we do see a bit of incidents going on. Number 45 running into a bit of an issue. This is Liam Swinburne. So now Swinburne keeping all together. Did the Aston snap out? Oh, too much curb. Comes back. And
and that's Savov.
one. Yeah, there's one. He puts it in the wall. It just counts it all the way. I mean, Savov got caught out in number 14. And this is Sava's look. I mean, let's go in the helmet of Sava to see what exactly he saw at the moment of impact. Hook it in the corner. Goes for a gap. Oh, there was no more gap.
Oh boy, Steven. I mean, I have to feel for Savov there. I mean, 14 was always the number that I raced with earlier. As you see another yellow flag here for the car 39 Aston Martin. Did he overshoot the chase?
This is Marius Evers on the back of Savov just ahead of him. And
Aston Martin saying, thank you, Panterino. And we have a synchronized British team just pitting in synchronization there. But, I mean, let's talk about that little reaction there, Stephen. I mean, me and you spoke about this throughout the day earlier. That gap, you're falling close by to somebody and they get turned around. Normally the reaction would be to try and counter steer it and steer out of the issue. But I mean, it's one of the things that we normally speak about within our communities, our simracing community. If you do have, as you see, a move here from Jan Kleinhans, almost lining up move, lining it, or mounting the curb, just be patient there.
He's doing he's doing dressage at the moment. No, that's show jumping with the stallion.
Dressage.
No, it's not dressage.
Dressage is the... as we see, Loic Randabal and Hannes Rowling there, both overshooting the chase there. This is the rundown of Conrad straight there. Let's see here.
So, yeah. This is a little bit of an overshoot. You can see Loic trying to gain. Maybe look towards the inside line. Went for a monster send. Godzilla had nothing of it. And, the two having a little bit of an argy-bargy moment.
The Italians and the Japanese, they have some collaborations earlier. Well, they're quite known for example, Chinese make ripoffs of that's Chinese. Well, then I don't know the Japan. I do the Chinese make ripoffs of their fashion brands.
Every single person just face palm so hard right now.
I'm tired. This midweek public holiday is not for me. It feels like a Saturday. Okay, Stevie. It feels like a Saturday.
You know what? It reminds you of some guy walking into Comic-Con and just going and saying, listen, I go and... never mind. Loic Randabal going and hearing the joke before I could even finish it.
Great awareness there from our Pro-Am leader. Well done there, Mondre Klaassen. But, I mean, Loic Randabal has been having issues with his brake pedals. And that's the thing that I wanted to bring up earlier, Stephen. I mean, we've seen Michael Schultz saying that he has a mechanical failure with his pedals. And 2 weeks ago, Daniel de Villiers saying having issues again with his pedals, mixing around, and I mean, you've had to sort something out Monday.
I've got issues with my pedals. It doesn't go fast enough.
No, that means you have to press them you have to press them harder. The right one you have to press harder. That's the only issue.
I thought it was the middle one. As Kleinhans didn't use the middle one, falling off the track, and Fundermover says thank you very much. Just baited him into a move there. What a run. Oh yeah, to finish up my joke on the Comic-Con thing, you're the type of guy that will walk into Comic-Con, go to the anime section and say, I only watch dub.
Joke's on you, I do not watch anime.
Did you ever watch Dragon Ball Z?
No.
You didn't?
No, my mom growing up forbade me from watching.
Wow.
Don't ask me.
Wow.
Okay.
Did you watch Pokemon?
No, but I do know some of the characters. I did play the game though.
Wow, okay. Well, hit it there first. Oh, what is Loic doing? That was against Jackie Alberts, but I mean, Jackie had nowhere to go. Unfortunately,
nice around there. Oh, but too much of a flip.
Jackie Albert, but wasn't Jackie Alberts part of Racing Snails not so long ago?
I'm not sure, Steven.
Yes, she was. Jackie was part of Racing Snails. Now it's got Ominous Gaming on the side. But I do want to point out, got kind of heaved ho out of the way by Loic Randabal, Who's stuck himself?
Hold the brakes, Loic. Hold the brakes, my friend.
Karma.
Okay, there we go.
Karma. Unfortunately, Loic, you can get cross with me. That is karma.
I mean, I actually spoke with Loic earlier today when we were just chilling around the circuit there, and he did say that Omnius Gaming did start up their academy team, and Jackie Albers, I believe, is now part of that said academy team, which is great to see, and I'm glad to see them expanding. I mean, I've known the history of Omnius for quite some time, and to see them break back into, I believe that's the first venture into ACC racing. It's great to see them back here, but and expanding is there. But as we look back here at SCS racing being chased down by the BMW of Harder's boys here, just really clawing his way back. The BMW is performing relatively well.
Yeah, wouldn't think it's a BMW, to be honest. But I do want to talk about a situation. I mean, Hunter Skrailing getting a beautiful scent trying to get past a couple of our back markers. But it does look like a lot of teams. Oh, I see Ian Swanburn trying to turn the Aston around.
Oh, almost makes it.
Almost. So close. Didn't quite work out.
Close.
Oh, and this is Lucan Haynes, who is part of the Omnius as well. And Michael Brugge, unfortunately, looks like they had it coming together. So we're going to go back about a minute and see where this all came to. But it looks like a lot of the big teams. I mean, Pandacity's done it with a junior academy side. Hybrid Racing has done it. Then you've got the Omnius Gaming. So it does look like a lot of these esport teams are putting a junior or a development class to try and improve or spot young talent to come into the mix of things. But it's very interesting to see that the two teammates, Jackie Albert's going, former teammates, you can say that, chasing down one of the racing snails. And,
that
Michael.
car is busted. Park it and turd, my friend. The McLaren will definitely be a handful going over there. But as you see, Mondre Klaassen here taking it to the big boys and fighting it on with the likes of Daniel de Villiers and, Michael Donaldson right behind him. And that Aston is a lap down, so we'll have to move out of the way, just lift up on the throttle there. But he is really taking the fight here to Daniel de Villiers. But as you said, it's great to see some of these big orgs going and mixing it up and getting some new promising talent involved. But that also brings some of its own challenges, Stephen. You would agree with me on this. You can start bringing in new talent. It's just how you foster it, how you help grow it. What resources do you have in terms of expanding that talent, which will
overexpansion can be a problem. That's the
thing. Maybe growing a bit too fast or just over ambitious, as we see a Nissan there coming out from the runoff area of Hell's Corner. What did Hunter Skrailing do? My friend, you're supposed to turn left, not straight.
No. Forgot he had the button still left on, that's for certain. Pulling a bit of a Lewis Hamilton moment. Brakes, turns in, and goodbye.
Oh.
I mean, he properly went up the street. That is no question. Good save, but
I think he was heading into town on that one. Sorry, that's quite funny. I'm not gonna argue. That was very funny.
It's one of those sound effects that you want to add. That meow. Ventures off. Yeah, well, 5 seconds penalty coming out for Darren Miller. So
that's for that earlier contact there with I believe Loic Randebel going into this specific section that we are seeing these three cars go through now. Just a bit tapping it there and get spun around there. But Mondre Klaassen getting right under the wing of that Godzilla there, flashing his light saying, "Move, I am coming through." He wants to build. I mean, I don't think he has won previously to my knowledge, Stephen, he hasn't won a Pro-Am race. I know it's early, but he's already making the move on Daniel de Villiers. I think he's also busy nursing some damage on that car. Side by side.
Nursing it or sending
careful.
it, because he sent it. De Villiers getting the pass on Mordred Claessens, and Michael Donaldson has a absolute awesome pound seat at the moment, as all he needs to do. Oh, a little bit of a push to pass there. Didn't quite work out to plan. Fortunately,
good push to pass.
well, IndyCar, GT IndyCar, same thing, just different wheel arches. But some great
one
racing.
has, one doesn't have. One has wheel arches, one doesn't have wheel arches. But yeah, that's some very good racing to see our Pro-Am taking it to one of our more experienced pro drivers here. Now Mondre lost some time and has to build it all up again, and all while trying to build a gap to the Robotham there. So he's really getting a bit antsy, saying, "Listen, you guys, you're costing me time to my fight. If you are slow, let me through." But now is also again that conversation of pride over being meticulous and smart. I mean, yes, it's championship points, but it's a bit of, do you want to? I saw a Ferrari getting loose in the back there for Michael Donaldson.
Who is now fed right into David Robotham. Now, David has an opportunity to get in the tow and pull himself along a bit closer, and Michael's going to be the assistant in this little fight. So what you can possibly do if you're in Michael's shoes, if you feel the car's getting a bit skittish and flying around the back of you. Now, yes, this is thinking a little bit square. Trying to let the likes of David get by, and I see yellow flags for the 22 car having an accident.
Daniel Rowe.
And it looked like Johan Kleinans getting involved in a bit of a scuffle. Sorry, we'll come back to it. This was second place and third place overall, having a go at one another. Daniel trying to protect that inside line. Oh, Kleinans putting his nose in.
Yeah, closing the door, but not completely closing the door. As we see Daniel de Villiers defending that inside line. Mondre trying to stick it around the outside. Watch out for that exit curve. It's not where you want to be. Oh boy. This is really, it has to be about David Robotham right on the rear of Mondre Claessens. I think he's busy saying some very choiceful words underneath that helmet at Daniel de Villiers, because right now David Robotham is sniffing the lead for the Pro-Am class.
Well, if you think about it, they still got 2 mandatory pit stops, and that's one I do want to touch on. 2 mandatory pit stops need to be done in this race. So when are you going to do it? When is going to be that opportune moment to get yourself all in order? And at the moment, David Robotham is playing chase to the likes of Mordred Claessens. I've been taking a look at Mordred Claessen's lap times and just observing a couple of things here while he was fighting out with Daniel de Villiers. He's actually been hurting the tyres a lot more and burning a bit more fuel than what would be the strategy plan. So he's going to lose out at this point. Oh man. Sorry, and there is Van Zyl going and giving a bit of space.
Unfortunately, Van Zyl from the lead having a bit of a horrible race here tonight and dropping down and just letting these guys through. But yeah, Mondre Claessens sticking it very close. As we see, he's very fast over that mountain section there, Stephen. He's closing up on the Villiers once again. However, as you mentioned, he has been burning and using those tires quite a lot while being stuck behind the Villiers. I mean, there's no cool air coming into the brake ducts to help cool the brakes and preserve that tire life. They are pretty just screaming at this point in terms of just let us breathe.
He will not be able to do a one stop. He will not be able to go. He will have to take tires.
He will not be allowed even. He won't be even allowed.
No, but that's
to do a one stop.
No, in terms of the 2 stop, he's killed off the tires. So you do know that he's going to be in the pits for 30 seconds plus. Now, if you're taking a look from a pit crew perspective, you're overwatching the type of stuff. I mean, even if you're driving and your teammate is shouting how he's getting held up or he's in a fight, this is where you start going and saying, all right, well, let's look at the strategy. Let's look at how we're going to dial things back. For Daniel de Villiers, he has dialed it back. He's actually dropped about a second off his usual pace and has been holding on for a 203 consecutively, and it's actually stabilized the rear of the PWSR car. So he's actually backed off a little bit, allowing the car to stabilize. Even though he's in the fight with Mordre Claessens, he knows it's not a threat at this point in terms of points. It's not the same class. Where Mordre Claessens has gone the other way, he's gone and put the patience aside. He's going for that moment, but whether it's the time to do it is a different story. David Robotham has got the likes of Hannes Kraling onto the back of him. Now, Hannes is going to be trying to hurry him along, but will be protecting him from the back as well. So this is where having a teammate in the race will be able to work. And when you're this far into a championship, having that cool head, having that person come and put the hand on his shoulder, even though they're behind the wheel, to say, all right, let's dial it back, let's reassess what we've got here, where are we sitting, make it work, comes into play.
Yes, I mean, actually, Stephen, this is where having that extra set of, well, that extra voice in your ears, who's not currently even in the race or can even be in the race, saying, okay, listen here, he's not your fight. Just try and stick as close as possible to him and get a moment where you can make a move on him. I mean, at this point, this is, I think, the third or fourth time that we've seen Mordre Claessens trying to do an attack on Daniel de Villiers going into the last corner. This is just killing his drive, getting onto this home straight, and having to slot back behind de Villiers again, as we see Hannes Kraling making the move there in the background on David Robotham there, which is giving a bit of a side relief to Mordre Claessens, who now has about a 2-3 second gap towards between the two of them.
I wouldn't say this would be a problem to me, because now you've got a teammate to actually pull him along, and the teammate has got nothing to do it. So Hannes Kraling, who's got some pace, you've seen him on the circuit, is actually pulling David Robotham along in this fight. But with that being said, let's take a look through the running order. As first place, we haven't spoken about too often, is Jan Krobler out at the top of the charts. He has currently got a 2.6 second gap over Johan Kleinans. Then third place is Daniel Rowe, followed by Johan van der Merwe, Sean Verveers, SESA's hardest boys. Daniel de Villiers still in the fight with Mordre Claessens, looking to try and fight his way through Skyline. Then you have got Hannes Kraling, David Robotham, Edwin Govender, who has done a phenomenal job clawing his way through into 12th position. So well done to Edwin. Luke Randabal in 13th, 14th, Darren Miller, Anton Lammers, Vietia Buerta, Conrad Martin, Savasavov in 18th, 19th is Francois Buerta, Michael Donaldson down in 20th position, 21st, Wolford Robinson, followed by Henk Petersen, Tian Taron, Jackie Alberts down in 24th position, Lawrence Bondnose, Luke Haynes, Frans Haynes, along with Gerry van Zyl. Now remember, Gerry was actually winning the championship, so this is a big dent in his run, but he has completed one of the pit stops. That's going to be an advantage for him. Ian Rootman going and make his way around. Matthew Carter down in 30th, 31st. Marius Ebbers, Sean Dunn, Jacques Krill, Chris Stalls down in 34th position, and I think he may have either had a accident or a disconnect.
Yeah, it's not normal to see him this far down, Stephen, I believe, but yeah, it's I mean, John Verveers completed all his stops right at the back there, 7 laps down. So he's trying to fight his way back, but this is going to be a long, awful fight as we see Gerry van Zyl popping in for his final stop. This is quite interesting in terms of what they were going to do and approach this now, but as you see, Michael Berg, our second to last running car.
And quite a few drivers actually getting their stops done. Now the question comes in. Savasavov had a pit stop, but there was an unplanned pit stop due to the damage. Michael Donaldson in 18th and 19th, so 19th and 18th position have done their first pit stops. Everyone above them is yet to do a pit stop. So
yeah,
would you start?
It's going to be interesting.
Would you start being concerned now for your pace in the long run, because we got 40 minutes left and you've still got 2 stops that you need to get done and dusted in this race?
Yeah, that's quite interesting. Yeah, that's quite close there. I don't know, Stephen. It's I mean, 40 minutes. Normally, we would see drivers either go and pit halfway into the race, as Mondra is trying to get another run here again. But now it's in terms of how is this going to happen? How do you want to approach this? It's a different strategy that I've seen some of these drivers do. I mean, for our Pro-Am drivers, our leaders, to possibly, I believe, follow the same one as our pro drivers, but it's difficult to say. I do not know how they're going to do these strategies. All I know is that some of these guys really need to be careful in terms of their tires, as Monte is trying to pull out earlier there on the chase to get that inside line secure to get a move. But he, from my personal side, my word of advice would be calm down, slow down, just preserve as much. You have a...
Ooh, hello.
Ooh.
This is first place. Johan Krobler, we were just talking about him actually running away from second place, getting fouled up. And now Kleinans is on the back of him like a bad rash, trying to battle his way through. But a little bit further back, Mordred Claessens now has Hannes Kraling going past him. And Kraling is looking to make a monstrous sin. Oh, side by side they go. Claessens runs out wide over the curb, tries to bring it back. And now he is battling out with Hannes Kraling, who will
yellow
be going
flag up here.
That is number 42. That's
Berg.
parked off. That's Shocks Krill.
Oh, Krill.
Shocks Krill parked off at the top. That is not going to help out his fight. Blake Randabell with 15 seconds added to his time. Darren Miller with 5 seconds added to his time. So, couple of things changing out. But first place may be on the cards for a big change as we go side by side down the Conrad Straight. Little bit skittish movements from Kleinans, not able to get it all buttoned up as Krobler defends the line. Remember, Kleinans is lying third in the championship, where Krobler is lying fifth. So Krobler at this point has to make up quite a few points if he wishes to get into the fight. Well, not really. He's actually on 96 points, and Kleinans is on 109. But these two are going to war with one another.
They are definitely battling up. And now remember this...
Jackie Alberts.
Jan Kleinans is still trying to fight it out with Daniel Rowe. He's trying to get as much points from this race as he possibly can to close that gap towards Daniel Rowe, who's currently leading our championship. So this is also where team play comes in, saying as he makes the move, saying thank you, I'm going to put you on the dirty side of that track. That little flash there from Johan Krobler saying, listen, I'm not happy about that, but that was a phenomenal move. Johan Kleinans sitting, biding his time, saying, let me get as close as possible, throw you off your game, and I'm going to stick it on the inside.
Well, that got the pass done and dusted, and Krobler is going to have to start thinking about the strategy, because it does look like Boy's gone into the pits to get himself sorted. Adrian Governor and Loic Randabell, but Loic Randabell will have that 20 seconds on top of his time. But Boy's is my concern, lying 7th in class and 7th overall. He's the litmus test for our top 5 as he comes out in 15th place. Yes, comes out in about 15th, 16th place. So he's a litmus test here of whether it's a good time to do it. Hannes Kraling backing up Mordred Claessens just a little bit, but at the same time it looks like De Villiers not getting the same drive as what he's done, so he's backed out of the fight and has allowed Kraling to get a bit closer. Interesting times ahead, but very interesting to see that there was a bit of a team change as well midway through the season, well, just beyond the midway through the season. Oh, as we look for De Villiers getting held up through Forest Elbow. Kraling came up on the back of him, and Claessens joining into the fight, and it looks like Johan Kleinans now into the pits as Daniel De Villiers makes his way past one of the blue flags, and as Kraling does so, Mordred Claessens trying to also do everything he can. Bit of a thank you to the Aston Martin for closing up the race there for the likes of the two Nissans to go to battle. This is what would you say? The yellow is Godzilla and the silver is Mecha Godzilla. because of the
I
silver.
was about to say, because it's not going to be King Kong versus Godzilla. This
no.
is two Godzillas. It is the evolved, more mature, well, not mature, the more evolved, more advanced Godzilla
Mecha.
in terms of that silver, the mecha one, yes, fighting against this, the original, the OG first specimen Godzilla there. And I'm still saying that, but I'm going to keep on saying Godzilla now. That miss on off Daniel De Villiers is having some issues. That rear tires are possibly
It's not buttoned
screaming
up.
at him. Yeah, it's
definitely
screaming at
not
him.
buttoned up.
Too many spins. I mean, he did a 360 no scope there. Luckily, didn't hit anybody. But as we see, John Kleinans, where did he go? Was he in the pits?
Maybe.
Yes, he did a pit.
Yeah,
he did a pit. There we go.
He has pitted, so he came out in 10th, utilising a bit of a litmus test there. But a bit of an interesting one for our Pro-Am. David Robotham has pulled into the pits as well. Mordred Claessen's still hanging it out. So Claessen's is going the long game here. 34 minutes to go, but Johan Krobler back into first place. Daniel Rowe into second. Johan van der Merwe in third place. Sean Verveers in fourth. Now that leaves a hybrid racing 1, 2, and 4 racing with one another. Van der Merwe and SESAs from ZRC side will be keeping an eye on one another as they look to try and battle it out. Yellow flag for number 12 car, and that is Francois Buerta, who landed up with a bit of a problem. And there was a yellow flag for the number 2 car coming out of the pits.
Now this is where the question comes in.
This is Chris.
Chris there. He got out just behind Francois right.
And Wilfred Robertson's ahead of him.
Oh, that's going to kill this drive, and that's rain damage. This is not for the fight of the lead, though, but Buerta is currently ahead of David Robotham there. Now, oh boy, Mondre Claessen in the pits, deciding to pull the trigger there after David Robotham decided to do an earlier stop, try to get that undercut there. But that traffic that he's experiencing now is not going to count in his favor, I believe. But oh boy, Steven, now it's the only Pro-Am that did not pit is Francois Buerta, I believe there. So this is going to be interesting.
Francois is going to try and go and stretch his legs a little bit, but Mordred Claessen's managed to get himself a little bit further up ahead. One thing is whether he's going to be changing tyres or not. 25 seconds in the box. There's no tyre change.
Yeah,
that's a refuel. So what he's got, so the boots he's got on that car will be the boots he's got till the end. How much life has he taken out of them? Oh man, and this is where it keeps us guessing. SESA, though, not guessing about going for a pass on Verveers ahead of him. Does look up to the middle of the circuit, down the Conrad Straight, really trying to dial it in now. Looking left, looking right, gonna maybe go around the outside, gets it all cut off. He's gonna go for the send. Can he get it all booked in? Nope. Unfortunately, flight was delayed and had to wait it out as Verveers going and keeping the door firmly slammed shut at this point.
Hold up, Steven. Sorry for interruption. Mondre Claessen, his pit stop did not register. He did not register. So he now has to do 3 stops. A predominant 3 stops, meaning
now I'm gonna ask you, what does it mean for a driver as we see the 32 car, Matthew Carter, going a bit slow? We're talking about his pit stop did not register. Now, for anyone that doesn't know sim racing, you drove into the pits, you stopped, you got jacked up, and you got racing again. What do you mean it didn't work?
Well, that could be multiple factors. Not putting in, as he goes back in again, not either going and not putting in the correct amount of fuel, the 1 litre minimum required fuel, or I believe the drivers normally have a little window saying either you have to do a tire change or add fuel. Perhaps, and there's also then the other one that says,
missed the
listen,
box.
again. Now this is going to throw him down quite significantly. Now where is David Robotham in this entire situation? Where is he currently on track? He is going into the chase. Now when is Mondre Klaasen going on a roll? Well, not a Merca, Aston Martin.
Well,
Another one there on the
it does
inside.
use a Merc engine, so you're not too far wrong. They using
Mondre
the
Klaasen changing tires. I think he's been stationary in that box for a while. He is going to lose the lead that he's been fighting for who knows how long now. And oh boy, this has shaken up everything.
Yeah, that moment, getting excited, getting pulled into a fight, it's lots of fun, but mistakes can be costly, and unfortunately, that is one of them. You know, we were talking about it, and our pros, I don't usually see the mistakes from our pro-ams, oddly enough. I generally see it from the pros, because you're trying to go completely to the fine point. You want to get it all sorted in and just close it up. But if you think about it, a pro-am or an am driver, we go in, we back off the throttle, we gently brake, we get ourselves in. It's because you're afraid of getting it wrong. Where in a pro, you are your gap for mistake is so finite because you're trying to forever push the limits. And that's we usually see the pros making that mistake. The pro-ams, though, not the one that works out for him. So, yeah, a little bit of a problem there. SES Day is pulling into the pits as well. Kleinan's back in, has done his pit stop. He's in 8th place. So, we've got a couple of cars doing a great job out there. Yellow flags for the number 45. Yep, I think that is broken.
I thought for a moment that's a Corvette, a Corvette Camaro they're driving. I know, I mean, that dark gap just looked like the front grille of a Corvette there. But no, that car has seen some better days there, Stephen. But you mentioned the pros making, sorry, that's a bit of a hiccup. The pros making some of these mistakes as Mondre Klaasen dropped all the way from 1st into 5th in class. Gut-wrenching.
Still needing,
very
and
gut-wrenching.
still needing to do one more stop as well.
Now it's literally going and chucking out everything out the window. I mean, he can go and argue with the steward saying, listen, he did do this, but you have to, it's something that most of us are very well known within this simulator. It goes, if you're a millimeter too skew in your box, it doesn't move you, but it does not count. There's a little red outline that you have to hit continuously in order for it to count. And unfortunately, he got he got a bit punished by maybe just missing that or doing a bit of a mix-up there. But as you said, Stephen, the tolerance for the pro drivers is a bit different towards the pro-ams in terms of how we stop, how we hit our marks and everything. I mean, I've overshot my brakes, my brake point multiple times.
Like
no, that's Jaco Grobler.
Is that Jaco Grobler?
Yeah, not making the start, just unfortunately missing it. Seems like a mechanical or something. I hope it's not mechanical there, but making some issues there on that side there. But as you said, it's the drivers. Going over the mountain, if you ever want to give yourself a little bit of a heart attack, get inside the car of a pro driver and see how he navigates himself around this track. There's millimeter perfection going around, specifically this little section here, in order to maximize the run, not having to lift or hit the brakes in any shape or form, running as close as possible to that wall and chopping as much time and still keeping full throttle. Maybe a little lift going through that little bend there before hitting skyline. This is where the pros risk it all. The pro-ams try to mimic that, but they still have that little bit of fear. Maybe just lightly tapping the brake to get the car settled and then throttling through. But they do have their own risks. But the pro drivers just throw caution in the wind and say, you know what, I'm going everything out here. I mean, I've given you a couple of heart attacks with the cars.
For fears with a stop-go 30-second penalty.
That is speeding in the pit lane. So either getting off the button a bit too early or carrying too much speed into that pit entry. Normally this penalty gets given as soon as they exit the pits. I do not know why. It's a bit of annoying. I mean, you sit there, you exit, and it's like, oops, did I speed, did I not, did I know? And then finally you get the penalty. And as Tinus Berta says there, close your eyes and put foot probably put foot in hook, put your foot in the corner, and just full out throttle it until the very end there as you go over the mountain.
Or, very end of the wall that comes up close. Third place, though, is Hannes Kraling with Daniel de Villiers lying in fourth place, all trying to carve their way through. And now this is also where it gets interesting, because pit stops are coming into the play as we see one of the Ferraris venturing out into the dirt. Unfortunately, trying to get closer to Wilfred Robertson, and it didn't quite turn out the way he wanted it to for the number 20 car. But you got to be well aware of everyone on the circuit's having a fight. Everyone's got their own strategy, and how you go and work out where to put yourself on the track at the right time is one that you want to keep an eye out for. Who's actually done the pit stops, who's got a fresh set of boots, who's likely to have done a fuel stop or a fresh set of tires on the car. I mean, this is where looking beyond your car starts being a factor. And one thing I do want to also go and mention is, for the championship, you start thinking about the long game here. You start thinking about the points of, is it worth risking that possible one position more by giving it horns now, or rather safely securing a couple of points now?
That's correct, Stephen. I mean, you have to go and look around in terms of where's the person in that's you're fighting with in the championship closest to you. How do you want to approach this? Are they so far back that extra jumping position is going to make a massive impact, or are they so far ahead that you have to push? You don't want to go and make unnecessary risks. You want to go and play it safe. I do not know who said this famous line. I just know that everybody uses it. To finish first you have to finish. You have to get the car over the line, get as much points as possible, and hope in future rounds to come that your closest competitor goes and messes up, goes and puts it in the wall, misses around, makes some mistakes. It's all about playing the long game, one would say.
Well, that saying actually came out in the 1940s, believe it or not.
Well, there you go. And I'm just looking at the grandstands again. Tina's here saying, "Why am I not on the race face grid?"
Well, he is.
Live.
In a different
I'm on the
car.
race face. Well, races grid, different car. I'm on the F4 side, on our racing side, and just some change in perspective, one would say. As Stephen might correct me on that. Just a bit of change of scenery and trying out a different thing there. But no, I'm still there.
No, he's been converted to the right cars. Driver in the middle, wheel arches off, engines behind you, and you're going racing.
Still prefer the GT3s and the LMPs and GTPs. Don't worry,
Okay,
I prefer the left-hand and right-hand side cars.
You know what? GT3s you can get lots. But we're watching some amazing GT3 action brought to you by the ZRC GT3 Championship. And I mean, for everyone giving it to battle it out. And I do think the newly jumped on sponsors like the EG Evolved, ACC GT Server Manager, all being a part of it. Also, EG being a racing sim himself, looking to be part of it. Rapid Networks jumping on and also helping sponsor the servers and that. It's just new companies trying out, seeing the world and looking at the racing going, Shingos, we got some really good competitors out there that are doing everything that they can to just battle it out. And it's also enjoyable to go and take a look over to the grandstands and seeing the passion that is coming through, not only from the drivers and teams currently participating that have put in hours and hours and hours of work to get behind the wheels of these machines, but also to go and see the fans joining it.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see the fans participating here, and great to see them interacting with, shouting for their drivers, and also then going and posting some questions towards us, the commentators. I always like doing that. Stephen, your well-known name in terms of commentating for sim racing, and myself not being the most favorite person in terms of in terms of racing sometimes. But yeah, it's great to always having them and the sponsors recognizing and saying, listen, this is a market that we can tap into and help promote South African sim racing to the next level. Go and make it better. And just shine a bit of light on the talent that normally flies under the radar. As we see a Ferrari just pulling there to the side there, just saying, I do not want to get involved in this. But just letting Jan Kleinhans.
No, it isn't.
No, that's a Ferrari. It looks like that's Johan Verveers currently at the back of the pack. Not confused with John Verveers. I still do not know who the father or son is. I'm sorry if I get that confused, but yeah, I do know that they both the names start with a J and both the surnames are Verveers.
Oh man, imagine that it's not even related and you just got it completely wrong.
No, they are related. I have had the discussion with them. They are related. SES there, right? You are van der Merwe saying, wait, that's SES there. Or Anton Lammers saying, go straight. I missed the turn.
Anton Lammers missing the brake marker there and properly trying to...
slow.
Very, very slow.
What's going on? Is that a throttle malfunction?
Stop. That's it.
No fuel?
No, he's waiting for cars to come by.
But he could have rejoined normally.
No, he's trying to get to the pit lane and was stuck on the wrong side of the circuit. So, unfortunately, it didn't quite work out for him.
No. That's quite bad there. But just quickly taking a look back at our Pro-Am, Stephen. Mondre Klaassen fighting his way back again into second in class. Only a couple of seconds behind David Robotham there. And he's definitely got some great pace tonight. If he's able to fight back and stick it back to David Robotham here, who also still has to do one pit, this will be a shake-up of note as we see Jan Kleinhans doing the fastest lap in 2:04, getting really close to that 159s. Now this is where the balance of performance comes in. 27 laps. He's been hitting them hitting the laps as best as possible, trying to navigate the traffic, get as close as possible to that 159s, and nobody has been getting close to getting that 159s except for his teammate Chris Tolles, who for some reason all the way from first dropped down to last. I'm still curious. I hope that it's nothing too serious and it's just a small niggle in terms of his car, the mechanical failure, as Mondre Klaassen is right on the rear of Darren Miller. He wants to get past, saying goodbye and good night, my toppy. Right there on the going at the outside. Oh boy, not yet.
Oh, that was one of the racing sales also trying to join in on the braking party. Tiana Sports is saying not even Stephen wants to be on the grid anymore. Raceface Season 4. Yeah, I remember that, being on this grid with you, racing around and you lapping me millions of times. You were chasing me because you were lapping me. But in any case, I don't think I have been on the South African grid for...
No,
I've only
in the
been
off-season,
yeah, I've only been in the off-season and the mini enduro, but I don't think I can count that as a proper...
It's still racing is racing. Yeah, well, it's still racing. I mean, I think the last time I've been on South African grid was... Well, the last time I actually fought Tina's Brits. No.
You were on the South African grid?
Okay, I mean, in terms of ACC, Stephen. I'm talking ACC. I think I was... Michael Burke there, going at Skyline. The entrance to Skyline, just parking it there on the grass. I think that rear went a bit loose. Just too much speed carrying in there. That's kind of curious. As we see Darren de Villiers trying to defend aggressively against Jan Kleinhans. Now they're just letting him through, saying, I'm not fighting you. I do not have the pace.
Actually giving a flash there, and there's a thank you as well. So maybe going and just saying, as pointing out of knowing who you're fighting on track, and actually gave a bit of room there. It was very interesting to go and see that. And
well, some sportsmanship is still alive, or chivalry is still alive, legend.
Yeah, quite a few of the drivers going and giving sportsmanship. So while Daniel de Villiers goes and opens the door and says, after you, Darren Miller and Mondre Klaassen are going one at each other. I think it's two of them trying to fit through a trelly door at the moment. Unfortunately, both are going nose to tail in it. I think last time I've been on the grid, I don't think anyone wants to see me on the grid.
No.
I'm rather better heard than not behind the wheel. But Mordred Claessen's on the back of Darren Miller, trying to do everything he can. Interesting enough, though, the more that Miller gets into the fight with Claessen's with a huge send. My heavens! Unfortunately,
That's a penalty incoming of note. That will be a massive slap on the wrist, chain to the desk. You are not going anywhere, my man. Oh my word, that was a monstrous send there. Boy.
That send was so hard they're going to have to nerf it.
That send was faster than the South African post office. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh my, that is going to be some very curious choice words being spoken between Darren Miller and Mordred Claessen. Once they get back to the paddock, they're gonna go the American style and fight it out with a fist. Oh boy, that was a big one.
I don't think it will be. I think our drivers will let the process kind of handle itself. But what damage has been done to both vehicles? Because that was a bit of a fair smack. Light damage would be on the aero, which means that Mordred Claessen's making up time through the hill. But now suddenly having aero damage means that he's going to get thrown a little bit down. Daniel Rowe doing a good job. He's 10 seconds behind his teammate out in first place, Johan Krobler. Beating out the pack, Johan Kleinans down in third, Daniel de Villiers in fourth place, Johan van der Merwe in fifth. Hardest boys, Conrad Martin, SDSAs has got the likes of Hannes Kraling on the back of him, and David Robotham now into the fight. So David trying to close down on the two pros that are going in an absolute slugfest against one another. Edwin Govender has got Mordred Claessen's to deal with now. And Govender is not backing down from the fight. So this is not helping Claessen's run, as he is getting caught up behind a couple of cars that just are keeping their noses clean in this race. Savov Savov up into 14th position, done all his pit stops, wants to get a little bit closer to SESAs, and Hannes Kraling as quick as he can. So it's going to be a monstrous run there. Mordred Claessen's into the pits, so opting to try and go for maybe an undercut at this point to get the car sorted out. But quite a few of the drivers still going and driving around with a bit of a damage on the car. As you see a whole pack of Zodiacs going at it, and Jackie Alberts trying to keep herself going. Jackie doing a tremendous job at the moment, going and wearing the new colours. Has got Loic Randall, looks around the outside. Loic making short work of the situation, getting past quite a few of them.
Three of them.
And off into the dead.
Yeah, the good scent, not enough stopping power, and he's back behind all of them.
Nope, not yet. Jackie was nice enough to say, hey, look, let's not switch here.
Let's not get in trouble with the team boss tonight. Oh no, but as you said, no, that Mordred Claessen jumping in, still holding on second, but he will have a significant time penalty coming into play when the stewards get to that accident. That will be post-race or either with time minutes to go getting implemented shortly there. But just like you look at the grass today, Gerrit Jacob saying he'll be back for Imola next week and hopefully we'll give him a bit more screen time.
What? No screen time for Gerrit Jacobs? No, okay, I'll take that.
No. Gerrit Jacobs, just the bank account for TAC Productions. It's 1, 2, 3, not gonna work. And we go from there.
It doesn't work in the first place, unfortunately. It knows how to get
we will
money
take the
out
money.
Money knows how to go out of it.
Yeah, but never not going into it.
Income seems to be a little bit on the harder side of things. But, I mean, we've got some amazing racing at the moment. But I want to point up to the front end of the field as we got first and second yet to pit, and fourth, along with fifth, all needing to, seventh needing to pit. So first, second, fourth, and seventh yet to do a stop. 8th place completed all their pit stops. SESAs leading out the pack that has done their pit stops. Our top runners are yet to do all their pit stops. Johan Kleinans has done one stop, and he got let by Daniel de Villiers, who allowed it all to work. So this is going to be a proper run for the likes of Kleinans to score for the championship, but a risky situation for hybrid racing. 2 pit stops to go. Pit window is only 10 minutes. You're going to have to go back to back in the race from now to get it sorted out. Because if you're doing 2 minutes a lap, that means it takes you, what, about 5.5 minutes in total to be able to get both those pit stops done back to back. That's 5.5 minutes of gap that you're going to need to pull on the likes of SESAs in 8th place if you want to stay into a fighting chance.
Yeah, no, as you said there, Stephen, it's about 5.5 minutes if they do not change tires and just go splash and dash there. But it's great to see, well, the strategy that they're busy employing here, and also Conrad Martin also having to do 2 pit stops there. But as AC says it on the inside, going into the chase, as we see a BMW saying, I'm going to become a lawnmower for that little section there. But Conrad Martin just letting past some of the drivers, saying, I'm not going to challenge you for that one. But yeah, it's
dab on the brakes to.
Yeah,
I
just
thought
to let
was
him
going
through.
to. Yeah, I thought that was going to be to try and get into the pits, but no, it was to let a pass go. So Jan Krobler obviously heard our pleas and working out. He's going to allow likes of Daniel Rowe to get by, so they're going to play a little bit of leapfrog at the moment to ensure that they can hold their ground. They've got the gap to Kleinans at the moment, so Kleinans is in the pound seat to maintain 3rd place, but not enough to go for 1st, because while Daniel Rowe is heading up the hill, Krobler is coming out of the pits, and Kleinans is yet to round the final corner. So I do think maybe the strategy may have worked, but it's heavily reliant on pace being the main factor through it all. You're risking it all for the drivers to get it all sorted, that they will not run into the back markers, that nothing can go wrong. It's risky.
Yeah, it's a gamble, Stephen. I mean, now he has to go and push and get, well, hopefully does not, but as you say, doesn't get any back markers, and really goes and just has some clean running, putting in those fast laps that we've seen him do throughout the race tonight, and hopefully just claw back that time. And it's gonna be a difficult challenge, I believe. It's gonna be quite difficult. So we'll see how that happens, as we see one messed up Mercedes in the background, and then another Mercedes being followed by a Nissan, trying to just chasing that Bratwurst. They're trying to get him going defensive. His SES race and saying, I do not care if we're on the same team. I will definitely defend against you.
Well, they're fighting it out for overall position at this point, and it's points on the cards for both their championships. So getting a little bit of elbows out is needed. Maybe a little bit too close, as suddenly Hannes Kraling going late on the brakes and went Nissan right past everybody, and getting caught up in his own little fight. So interesting to see how it goes, but David Robotham is also one I want to keep an eye out for, because he's leading out the Pro-Ams, but needs to ensure he has enough of a gap over the likes of Mildred Claassen. Hottest Boys now onto the back of him, and Boys is going to be giving the blue flags to the back. Well, it's going to be on the same lap as Robotham, but Robotham is in a different class. So do you do the switcheroo? Do you allow a bit of a chase? How's this going to work out for you? As unfortunately a bit of wine, a bit of cheese, and definitely a whole lot of whining coming from Robinson, who's got a very damaged Ferrari and is going to be dragging that car back to the pits.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Stephen. A bit too much wine there, I think, and not enough cheese, and gone and made a bit of a whoopsie daisy, going and just exiting the chase there.
Oh,
that's a McLaren going the wrong way. Oh boy!
Where was Edrin Govender going? I mean, this is Edrin Govender under braking. The 007 has got Vietia Buerta now behind him, heading into turn 1. And was it a little bit of a did not see you brake? Oh, bit of a helping situation.
That's a rear end inspection for the diffuser. Ouch.
And there's a reverse gap. Now, if I was the Merc driving up and seeing Edwin Governor reversing backwards towards me, I would be a little bit concerned. You know, it's one thing to, Edwin gets his takes that.
Hold it.
He got it! He got it!
Someone play the Tokyo Drift and give this man first place. That was a better drift than the Nissan.
That is
That
the
is my
best
moment of
drift
the
I've
race.
seen all season.
Oh,
Edwin-
absolutely.
Edwin got the best drift all season. No questions asked. Daniel Rowe into the pits and Johan Krobler now trying to go for it. Tommy Albert saying, crazy strategy. What's the penalty if you don't pit again? Well, how's 180 seconds added to your time look like? Work that out.
180.
I think it's 180 that you get.
Well, see, I've never had that issue though. I've always pitted. I'm a good pit stop driver.
You know what? There's a bit of a challenge for Gabriel Melman because he loves taking photos, part of the ZRC team, but he's one of the up-and-coming photographers and actually one of the very few simmer photographers, they've been dubbed, actually taking photos of cars in sim. So Gabriel Melman, definitely if you want to go get a photo of a GT3 drifting, that's going to be the car. That is going to be the one. Highlight moment. Put it on. Send it off to the bank. I think that's going to be a bit of a star moment. Well done, Adrian. But SESA's now onto the back of Daniel de Villiers. Mordred Claessens with a 15-second penalty. That's it. He can't.
Yeah.
He cannot. David Robertson just has to stay 15 seconds up the road from him. Vietia Buerta also with a 15-second penalty. I think that was from the earlier contact. SESA's with a monster send up on the inside of Godzilla. The two of them are going at it. SE having to take evasive maneuvers, and it looks like de Villiers is going to hunt him down. Dives up on the inside, gets it booked in, runs out wide, straightens the steering, and beautifully takes back the position over SESA's. And SE giving a little bit of a cheeky flash there, saying, hey buddy, that was a good one, but I'm going to come back for you for it. Let's see what the Major can do against Daniel the Hitman de Villiers. It is going to be blow for blow between one another, and there's no pit stop to save them as well.
Yeah, no pit stop. This is a full-on battle to the end, Stephen. And yeah, it seems like that the Major has been given takeoff clearance from the air traffic controller, saying you are cleared to hunt down the bogey and get that Hitman.
I've been told he cannot fly.
Anymore?
No, because he's scared of heights. I know I'm going to get in the neck for saying that.
Oh
Totally
boy, we are both going to get in the neck for that one, because he's he's still gonna go and scramble the jets and hunt down that bogey in front of him, because he really wants to get past him. But oh boy, you are in for some very, very big punishment later.
Some say he just wanted to be a Navyman, but couldn't cut it out. That's it.
Ouch.
What? He just couldn't cut it. It's unfortunate, you know.
He still has a higher ranking than me and you, so we can't really argue about that, can we?
What? Want to bet I earn platinum in Fortnite?
Oh boy, you have to be carried.
Well,
Like
I don't have to admit that, but in any case.
Yeah,
but
well.
let's take a look at it. I mean, Jackie Albert's down in 20th position, having a bit of a hard race, but still managing to come up, getting closer to Anton Lumbers. But we are watching the fight. 4th, 5th, and 6th position. Out in first, Johan Krobler, followed by Daniel Rowe, are keeping each other going. And Johan Kleinans in 3rd place. Our top runners, other than Darren Miller, have pitted, and I don't think Miller is going to be able to get it into the pits. No, he doesn't. Miller doesn't get it in. Miller will be penalized.
Penalty. That's a big penalty. That can be up to, that's 60 seconds plus, I believe. That's a second. Oh yes, that's good. Well, now we're gonna now you're gonna find out what the penalty is there, Tommy Albers. We asked earlier there. We're gonna find out what the penalty is for not completing your pit stop. I wonder if he just didn't realize.
I think he was aiming for the lap time. Now SESA is putting pressure onto the back of De Villiers. De Villiers once again having a problem. Pit window now closed. Michael Donaldson with a 30-second penalty, so that's going to dump him down the order. There has been switch-ups throughout the race. The championship is into the closing stages of the season, so it's all on the cards, and we are waiting.
The leader is on the final lap. Give it a
We
final
just
lap.
heard leader is on the final lap. I repeat, leader is on the final lap.
Now, just take a look at this, Stephen. Mondre Claassen, if he did not have that 15-second time penalty, would be currently fighting it out for the Pro-Am overall, well, the Pro-Am win. But because of that contact between him and Miller, he has that penalty, meaning that even if he does get past Rowbotham, he still will drop down positions. He's still going to maintain second in class, but this is going to cost him, unfortunately, the win if he does get past. Now, there's battles all over. You don't know where to look, left, right, or center. It's phenomenal. As we see another send from Messi going on the inside, but Daniel doing the little switch back, cutting across the nose
Hannes
of
Freyling.
the second Godzilla there.
Hannes Freyling now looking to get into the fray of things with the last lap. These three are closing down. A quick look to our leader making his way up the hill. Going to see yellow flags being waved. Daniel Rowe also at the top of the hill. Jan Kleinans, Jan van der Merwe. But the battle between De Villiers, SESA's, and Hannes Freyling still going. Mordre Claassen's landing up with a bit of damage. So he got into a bit of a scuffle somewhere through the hill. So De Villiers leading the charge. SESA is trying to come back at him. And Hannes Freyling now onto the back of him. Hardest Boys is also into the mix as well. So
there are two dragons chasing down Godzilla at this moment with a beaver teeth not too far behind them. Oh boy, it seems like there's animal species all across in this 4-car train. As we see Johan Grobler rounding the final corner. A phenomenal drive from him tonight as he goes on and takes the victory for our round here at Bathurst.
I'll back up to the fight because I know everyone wants to see this. Daniel Rowe takes second place. Jan Kleinans take it third. Jan van der Merwe will take fourth. But 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th position is up for grabs. Ladies and gentlemen, who's going to get it? Will it be Daniel the Hitman De Villiers? Will it be Essie the Major? Will it be Hannes Freyling, Hardest Boys? Or will it turn into a mix of things and none of them are going to get it? Who knows? We'll find out as it's nose to tail racing down the Conrad Straight. It is all on the cards. Essie's going to try put his nose up on the inside to kill for drive. De Villiers sends it on the inside, side by side. They go. Little bit of argy-bargy. Oh, slide out.
Esterhazen does it.
Defends against the line. Comes across. Oh, major contact. Major contact. Essie has gone off. Hannes Freyling looking to try and rob it at the line. And he does so. So does Hardest Boys. Coming across. But Daniel De Villiers getting the pass. Oh, man.
That will be a significant penalty for that one for a fact.
130 seconds, by the way. Not 180.
130, 130, you're 50 seconds off there. But that was a move that Essie did there. Yes, some rubbing and racing there, but that is just racing. And then the unfortunate takeout there right at the end. Oh boy, that's no matter what the stewards are going to do, that's going to be a fight. Either in the crew garage or when they get out of the cars in pit lane. This is gonna be nasty, ladies and gentlemen.
Robotham getting the Pro-Am win with Mordre Claassen's in second place. Vierter Boerter comes across the line. And Jackie Alberts getting third in class with the new paint scheme. So it seemed like having a bit of a argy-bargy moment. Getting third in class. Can't complain on that. But what a run by all our drivers. Getting it across Going for Fears. Limping the car around. You know what, Mr. Fears? Well done. Well done. Despite the damage on the car, comes across the line. What a run. Oh my heavens. Phew. Well, that was a...
And that was action-packed until the very last moment. Oh boy, Steve. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. The Stewards are gonna have their hands full tonight.
Yeah, no, that's definitely going to go for it. What a run for our drivers. What a run for even us as spectators. Having heart in mouth moments there. I mean, Cameron, not much you could say other than some well done racing for a lot of our drivers. Others being a bit more of a cautious moment that has everyone guessing. Your thoughts into it?
It's right to the very end. It's been everybody's race. I mean, from the pros to the pro-ams, the pro-am fight for the lead, what could have gone down to to the very wire if it was not for some mistakes happening here and there. But I mean, the fight, yes, our front pack ran away, but there were still some fights there. But our to get the final spot in the top 5, that fight was going to the very, very end. Very smart from Anna Swelling, just sticking it out the back and letting the 2 guys in front go and fight it out. And as we unfortunately see crash each other out there. But it's phenomenal racing up and down the entire field as you look back on the highlights. And it's, I believe our commentator, well, you will agree, not commentators, you agree, and our spectators are going to agree with us. Some phenomenal and fantastic racing tonight.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a brilliant one. I mean, lots of action. We do have a couple of chats to come in. So, going through the running order, let's have a chat to third place of our programs. Let's have a chat to Jackie Alberts. Jackie, welcome to the commentary box and third place in class. How are you feeling after that one?
Tired.
I could believe so, because that was a monumental run. I mean, take us through the race. You, got a new set of colors going from yellow to black and white, and suddenly having Loica Animal showing you a bit of a rough time, to putting it third in class. I mean, take us through all the emotions that's gone and happened.
You wouldn't believe it. I got wiped out twice. Car was damaged. I didn't fix it. Just carried on with it. But it was quite intense trying to keep rhythm with the damaged car. But yeah, I've changed from racing snails to ominous game. And yeah, I can't say anything more. I still need to sleep.
Oh, there we go. Just enjoying it. Well, to all the race fans out there, is there anything you would like to say to everyone watching now or in the future here for the ZRC GT3 Championship Season 2?
Just thank you to EG Evolved and Omnius and Racing Styles. They all do very well and help me a lot. And all my family that's watching, thank you for watching and supporting.
Thomas Albert's going and saying, good driving, Jackie. Proud of you. Well done on the race. So also great to see it. Jackie, absolutely tremendous stuff. Hopefully won't be the last time we see you in the commentary box. And wearing the bronze tonight, gold in the future.
Yeah, hopefully, yes.
Cameron, anything you want to say to Jackie before we let him go and get some sleep?
Well, just a great driver there. I mean, securing third in the Pro-Am, you kept it clean. Yes, you got some accidents there, but you still capitalized on the accidents of other drivers, and you clawed back to third there. So well done. Even with, as you see on screen, you were at one point driving with a very loose bonnet there, which definitely didn't help some of the aero there on the car. But well done, great drive, and congrats on that third position tonight.
Thank you, Cameron. Thank you, Stephen.
Tremendous stuff. Well, let's bring in the winner of our proms. Let's bring in David Robotham. David, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the commentary box. How are you feeling after that race? What an intense one it was for you.
Yeah. First time here talking to you. I wasn't expecting to at the beginning of today. But yeah, I just wanted to keep my nose clean the whole race.
You got into some pretty intense fights, and obviously keeping an eye on Mordred Claessen's. Take us through what was going through your strategy when you saw Mordred getting a bit of ground up to you, you closing the ground to him, and then suddenly the pit stops started coming in, where a little bit of an earlier pit stop over Mordred Claessen's.
Yeah, well, on that first lap, I had the Bentley pull alongside me along that straight, and that Bentley is freaking fast. So I made the decision to just let him go up the inside because I wanted to just stay out of trouble. And then towards the end of the first lap, I saw Mondre coming from quite far back, and I decided let me just open up the inside and let him go through. Because again, with this track, your main competitor is the mountain, not the other drivers. So I just wanted to keep it clean, and I just try to stay like within striking distance throughout the first stint. Anytime a pro came close to me, I just sort of let them go because that's not my fight. That was basically my whole strategy, was just keep a decent distance to the car in front of me, not stay too close behind them, so that if there is any trouble, I could keep it clean. And then, yeah, a little bit of an earlier stop to try get the undercut. When I came out, I wasn't sure what happened to him. He must have had an accident or something, because there was... And yeah, it's really hard to know where you're sitting when you're sitting in Pro-Am, because you can't really tell where the other guys are on the leaderboard on your screen.
You're just kind of racing whoever's around you and try and keep it all together. Cameron, anything you would like to say to David, before we let him go, or just on the race itself?
Well, again, great drive there, and congrats on the win there. And
Thanks.
yeah, you definitely played the smart and thoughtful game there tonight. With as you said, they're just letting the cars, even though they're fast, just letting them through instead of damaging your race, one would say. So no, congratulations on what you achieved out tonight. So yeah, I mean, me and Steven were both biting our nails right till the very end there with that fight.
Got close at the end.
It got close. Unfortunately, if it wasn't for that penalty for Mondre Klaassen, that battle would have gone to the very end, and that would also be one that we watched. So yeah, congratulations. The back markers make it difficult. The mountain makes it difficult. Yeah. So well done on that. On that win in the Pro-Am class, and a very good fight till the very end between yourself and Mondre Klaassen tonight.
No, thanks a lot.
Absolutely incredible stuff. Anything you would like to say to all the race fans before we let you go? I know you were planning to have a speech, but you earned it. The floor is yours.
No, just a big thanks to Zodiac and all the organizers. This series it's next level, and big ups to everyone involved.
Oh, absolutely incredible stuff. David Robotham taking the win for our Pro-Ams for round 5 of the ZRC GT3 Championship. Thank you, David. Well, with that being said, let's bring in third place of our GT3s for our Pro Division. Let's bring in Johan Kleinans. Welcome, Mr. Kleinans, to some phenomenal racing. Out there, exciting times. The grid landing up a bit split, but you had to save the fight right till the end. How was it with so many cars on circuit and you're fighting out for the top honors of pro and overall?
Good evening. You know what? It was a very tough race, honestly speaking. I know it didn't necessarily look like it. For me personally, we went for a reverse stat in comparison to what Grober and Rowe did, where most people stayed out a single set of tires, where we thought, it should be faster, or at least we had the pace in hand to do a tire change. And my first stint, I just couldn't get clear of Rowe. I got held back a bit. So it was very tough. Fought back a bit. Unfortunately for Chris, he lost. He made a mistake. If not, I think he was running away with it. But good result. Either way, good race.
Okay, now I've got to ask the start. How was that planned out? We saw a little bit of a backup of the field, and then suddenly you got sucked into the entire field. Was that planned to to try and give a little bit of room to one another, or was that kind of just arrived on the scene and got caught out by the teammates getting a little
No,
bit of a jump?
It was. Chris had a good start. I've honestly been struggling a bit with starts in the Ferrari. So, and when you have the Porsches behind you, they're so good off of the line. I should have covered off in hindsight. I should have covered off the inside just immediately, but I left it open, and Rowe just capitalized. I got pushed out wide, and then that sort of set the pace for my whole first stint, where because we were planning on doing tires. I had to put a gap, and any time lost there was just a net loss. So it worked out for Rowan and Bago very well. Unfortunate, but it's racing. Goes your way sometimes, other times not. So good fun.
Still scoring some great championship points. Anything you'd like to go and say to all the spectators watching now and in the future?
Nothing much. We always do our best. I want to say thanks to all the blue flag guys. It was really a clean ice from that point of view. Otherwise, we just keep pushing.
Well done, Mr. Kleinans. Delta Negative Racing doing a fantastic job, coming in third place. Look forward to having a chat to you for the next round, for round 6 happening next week. All right, well, Cameron, we are going to bring the team in. So let's bring in Daniel Rowe and Bago Krobler, because they were just in the middle of a conversation and we had to ruin it, because why not? I mean, Daniel is used to me shoving a microphone in his mouth, and I think Bago's also getting pretty used to that. But Johan Krobler getting the win. Daniel Rowe, we're going to start off with you coming in second place. How are you feeling with that race? The start getting rather exciting for you, having to capitalize on a mistake, and then having your teammate getting a little bit argy-bargy into turn 1.
Yeah, I think we were just all trying to figure out how much space we had, because I had a proper launch and the gap was open in the middle, so I went for the gap. But then obviously getting to the corner, things get a bit tighter, so I don't think anyone was trying to cause contact. We were just obviously 3 abreast. So, yeah, it was a nice start. It was quite exciting. I think in the opening laps, quite wild out there in the front, but we all managed to keep our cars intact until I smacked the wall. But yeah,
I mean, you've got to at least go and give a bit of a wall rub every so often. I mean, Bathurst is one of these circuits that you've got the wall of champions. It just happens to span the entirety of the track that you have to at least put your hand on it once. I mean, it's just one of those type of circuits. But Daniel, out there racing, trying to carve your way through 40 plus cars, not an easy thing to do, but you were keeping it consistent in pace. What was the strategy going and looking at it? We saw that you eventually, you and your teammate of Jan Bago Krobler going and leapfrogging one another. Was that the strategy from the start of the race, or was it as the race was developing, suddenly let's leapfrog it a little bit, try and move ourselves up?
Yeah, well, our strategy all along was to run long. We didn't take tires this round. So our strategy was to run as long as possible. And we had a feeling that opposition were taking tires, so it would have been a bargain if we got ahead of them early, because we can hold them up for a while. So yeah, we thought the back markers may help us in this race with the no tire strat, because I think taking tires was definitely the faster option. But yeah, I think we just got a little bit lucky in the first few laps to be where we were, and then obviously Chris had a crash, and then we found ourselves in the front. So it wasn't actually the plan. We were just gonna play it by ear, but we ended up in those positions, and then from there it was a hard battle with the opposition. and then strategy came into play at the end. So yeah, but well done to Bego. He had a fantastic race today. Kept it together and didn't make any mistakes. So yeah, congrats to teammate.
Well, that being said, let's have a chat to Johan Bego Grobler. Bego, I mean, absolutely tremendous stuff out. You out the box went to a great race. Opened up a 2 to 3 second gap over Chris. Then suddenly it all changed with Chris suddenly onto the back of you when you got mixed up. First time running into the back markers. Your thoughts of that situation?
Yeah, I don't know. Chris was in front of me until he crashed. So, but yeah, the back markers were tricky. Especially going up and down the mountain. So skill gap is quite big in on the grid, and it's almost sort of a guessing game where some of the guys are going to break. So, you've got sort of two options. You can go for it and risk the incident, or you can play it safe. And I think I chose to play it safe the whole race really with the back markers. So lost a bit of time every time I did come across a back marker, but at the end of the day, it worked out, so I can't complain.
Well, I mean, it played well for your championship. You came into this race 5th in the championship. You now maximize the points. This is obviously going to put a bit of a spring in the step heading into round 6 next week. A little bit closer towards the top, a little bit closer to your fellow teammate Daniel Rowe in the closing stages of the championship. What's the mindset heading into Imola for round 6?
Yeah, I think Daniel's got a nice big buffer at the moment. So for me right now the goal is to secure second and make it a 1-2 for us in the championship. So yeah, obviously maximizing points and trying to get, this is our second 1-2 of the season. We also had one at Kyle Army, so a few more would be nice. That's what we're aiming for.
Absolutely tremendous stuff. Well, Cameron, while we have got Bego and Daniel Rowe currently in the box, anything you would like to say to them from your side?
Well, it's of course normal. Congratulations to both the jars. I mean, this is not the first time that we've seen in the Zodiac community that blue and white Porsche taking the victory around Bathurst. Yeah, we saw you guys also with the team with the 12 hour. I think it's the 12 hours that they had earlier.
Bathurst 1000.
Yeah, Bathurst 1000. That's the one. Sorry, that went and took the championship. Well, took that race win there. So it's quite. I think we can start to. Basically correlates and say, well, the blue and white Porsche is the home turf for Bathurst. That is where you guys shine and definitely hold the record for wins out of 2 events that were hosted. But a brilliant drive from you guys. I mean, brilliant strategy also from that start. I see, but I think it was Daniel that said that he closed down that middle lane there and on the start. So well done. Great. I always love seeing you guys race. I know myself and Daniel have bashed doors at Bathurst on multiple occasions, and I'm glad on this time on this side of the mic instead of behind the wheel. But well done to you guys. Great drive, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys do for the up and coming rounds and this fight for the championship between you two.
Thank you.
Hybrid Racing's Daniel Rowe and Johan Bego Grobler. Thank you very much for joining us, guys, and we look forward to chatting to you next week for Imola. Congrats on the pros.
Thank you.
Cheers.
What a run out there, Cameron. I mean, this has been an exciting time. It's been tossed and turned. Lots is happening. I can't even work out the points at this stage of the game. It is just wild to think of what it may actually be by the end of it all. But exciting.
It's a
times
shake-up.
ahead.
Yeah, it's a shake-up. I mean, now we're going to Imola. It's a iconic track that's also close to many of our racers' hearts. If you grew up watching F1, if you grew up watching F1, specifically on today being the 30th anniversary of the death of one of the greatest motorsport racers of Ayrton Senna, and yesterday just being Roland Ratzenberger's 30th anniversary. But to go there next week is going to be it's going to be providing a lot more action with the GT3s going around there, and it's going to be one with full of heartache, celebratory moments with those curbs, either unsettling the car or just being able to cruise over them. But I think we're in for a phenomenal battle next week, and I'm looking forward to it. And I think this time, Stephen, we will be around for the commentating, I believe.
Yes, no, we will be around bringing you all the action live right here on the Zodiac Racing channel. So make sure you hit the subscribe button along with the bell notification icon and leave a like as well. But that being said, round 6 coming up. Next week we head out to Imola, and it is going to be an absolute doozy of a race with the likes of the ZRC. Round 6 at Imola, not going to be an easy one, but a massive, massive shout out to you guys, the race fans, the spectators, the drivers, the teams, the family members that come back week after week to see all the amazing action. And we look forward to seeing you guys for round 6. Big thank you to all our sponsors joining us. ACC GT Server Manager coming in, pairing up with Zodiac Racing Community. EG Evolved coming in, bringing in the prizes right here at EG. At ZRC, and then Rapid Networks joining in through the race. It's always fantastic to see new and bigger sponsors coming in part of the show. Once again, the prizes on the line from EG Evolved, those vouchers that you can go and win just by ending the season and on a high is a monster thing. Taking a look at the sim gear though, gotta say, little T300 may need a bit of improvement, I would say. One day, who knows, when pigs can fly, I think that's going to be my opportunity. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a big thank you from us at the commentary box. Big thank you to Cameron Bastos for coming out and being part of the show, and a happy May 4th to you. Because May the 4th be with you.
Star Wars, but thank you, Stephen. I prefer Star Trek. It's better.
Okay, and we're going to leave it on that sad note. And
your logic is illogical.
well, Cameron, anything you would like to say to all our spectators joining in now and will be joining us next week?
Well, simply just thank you everybody for joining in. Thanks again, Stephen, for having me. And thank you to Zodiac Community and all the sponsors for giving me the opportunity to be the voice in your home and give some insight and also provide some proper entertainment for the drivers for now and the foreseeable future. And due to Stephen keeping on referring to May the 4th, I do not know, Stephen. Do you think I need to make the Wookiee sound?
Oh, I think you can. I can always I've made the Wilhelm sound a little bit earlier for anyone that wants to go look at that.
It's going to be May the 4th very soon, so let's go and make it. And we'll see you again next week.
I can't beat that. Cheers, everybody.